Laura is asking, in these days of mega, I have moved lots of old aspects that I feel they are emerging. I did change, but I feel that my change was too slow, like turtle steps. What do you think?
You know, I think you have to stop doing and just be. You know, you're too focused on what's wrong. What's there is there. It's all just parts of your personality. It's not really important. And you're putting too much focus there. And then you start, oh, I thought I healed this. It's turtle steps. So in that moment, go in. And that's it. There's nothing else to do. You know, if you keep judging yourself, it can be eternal. Eternally you can be judging yourself. Or you can stop, be in the moment, and just give gratitude. You know, if I'm always looking for what's wrong with me, there's a million things wrong. Because it's all to do with ideas. Just come into the moment. Anchoring consciousness. Stop doing and start being. You know, we have to let go to the attachment of how we think things should be. Just let go. Let go. It's like that. It's like that. It's like that. Okay.
How is the way of choosing love instead of fear, but concretely in the action?
It's very easy. Facet. 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 Every time I use a facet, I'm expanding consciousness. Every time I use a facet, I'm focused on love. It's simple. Facet. Facet. That's why this system works so quickly. Because it doesn't matter what you're thinking, you can just put a facet, whether you believe it or not, and it will expand your consciousness. And at some point, these voices that take you into suffering will become a distant memory. It'll just be like, oh, there it is again. I'm going to sit in the silence. I'm going to witness. I'm going to be here now. Because it's in your hands, no? You have to decide. What am I going to choose? The fear always has a long dialogue. The love just simply has a yes. It has a facet. That's it. All this is feeding the fear. What's wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why am I still healing? Where should I be? Why did I do that? I should have done it better. Facet. Love. Fear.
Nora, 8 years ago, died the father of my children. And since that moment, something happened in the relationship with them. I feel I did everything to move through the separation with my sons, but nothing changed. I feel sad, but I don't know what else to do.
You don't need to do anything. You have to feel and let it go. You have an expectation. And everyone has their own timing. You want to get something from them. And they need their time. So you need to let go. Just let go. Be there. Stop being attached. Stop suffering. And just get on with your life. Stop being a victim to your children. And the minute you cut that, they will come. Because they feel everything. They feel the need. They feel the attachment. They feel everything. And they're like this. Is there a reason? No, it just is. I know this sounds hard, but you can't be constantly trying to get love. You can be sure the love's there, but you have to let go. The minute you let go, the love will come.
Maria Ines is asking, can you talk about fear to our own greatness? Because what is we are afraid in reality? What do we get out of being stuck in that place?
You know, greatness is the power to stand alone. And that's what we're afraid of. Because the most important things for human is approval. And we're afraid we're going to lose approval. And mediocrity, passivity, is always looking externally. But when we take a step to be our true essence, we're in fear of not being approved. But then we receive the greatest approval, the approval of ourselves, the love of ourselves. But it's a risk. In the beginning, it feels like a risk. This is why I say consciousness is a leap of faith. You know, you have to step into the void without knowing what's going to happen. And once you do that, everything starts to open. But it's the step that frightens people. You know, people are afraid of change. I remember when I first jumped out of an aeroplane. And I went up in this plane. And I was going up to jump out of the plane. I knew that was why I was going. It was the focus, no? And I remember that I was at the door and I was holding on like this. And the closer I got to the door, and I thought to myself, what crazy person jumps out of a perfectly good plane? Because the plane was perfect. And I was holding on to the edge. And when I jumped, as soon as the parachute opened, all the noise stopped. It was absolute silence. I've never heard such silence. And before that silence, when I was in the fear, there was so much noise. The noise of my head, the noise of the wind, the noise of everything, the fear. But I jumped. And then silence. It was incredible. And I thought, this is why we jump out of perfectly good planes. This is why we take a step into the unknown. This is why we look to change. Because it's exhilarating, it's frightening, but when we do it, when we take a leap of faith, then the power comes. And the power is that silence, that knowing that everything's okay. Everything's okay. So don't hold on to mediocrity. Don't be comfortable in being mediocre. Push yourself. I'm not saying you have to jump out of planes. Anyway, you can't. No, you can't. Because all the airports are closed. But, you know, but try something new. Focus on consciousness. Walk towards your fears. Speak your truth. Keep changing. Do something unexpected. But do it for more love. Do it for more love.
Sol says, During 60 years, I have been identifying me with a series of things, and the strongest one, the fight. Before anyone could hurt, I already was defending myself. And now is that I'm starting to see, like underneath, that in reality, I feel in danger. How can I let go of that program and let go of the fear?
You know, this is an aspect of the animal within, no? When an animal's gone through some form of pain, it's automatically defending itself. And you're in the same situation. We defend because we have suffered. So we have to be patient with ourselves. We have to be nurturing. But once we can recognize it, we can see that the hand coming towards us is full of love. It's not there to hit us. It's not there to hurt us. But it's trying to give us love. And it's the same with animals. But you have the choice to open. But you have to be patient. Because it's so automatic. You have to see the fear, feel the fear, and then start to trust. You have to start to trust and nurture that love.
Always asking, how can I enjoy 100% my loving relationships, and how to let go what it was generated by a relationship where it was unfaithfulness, because I feel my window is really dirty now.
You know, the worst thing is, we have this window of not trusting. So when we move into a new relationship, we don't clean the window. And the fear of the same thing transpiring starts to wear at the relationship. It starts to lose the innocence. So you have to go into a relationship willing to lose everything. You have to focus on love. Stop worrying about what might happen. Because it doesn't matter what happens, you will survive. Sounds like a song of, well, first I was afraid, I was petrified. No. So, you're in this point, no? You're in this point. Okay, I'm going to give this 100%. And if the same thing happens, oh well, I'll do it again. But don't go into the relationship like this. Oh, are you sure you're going to love me? You sure you're not going to play up on me? You sure? Because this is what happened last time. My partner was unfaithful. I don't trust you. I don't trust anyone. You've already ruined the relationship. And you have to see this fear. Because you're projecting that fear onto something new. And it doesn't create expansion. It creates contraction. And all relationships are to be enjoyed. Why do you want to be with someone? Because you want to enjoy yourself. You want it to be light. You want to have fun. You want a companion. You want it to be intimate. So you have to jump in 100% and stop protecting yourself. It's so important. And keep seeing fresh in each moment. Let go of the past. Oh, well, that happened. Oh, it might happen again. Oh, well, I'm going to enjoy this moment. Stop having expectations.
Maria is saying, I feel I want to ask you more important things, but I can see that I only think, and I can see all of us only think, in asking you how to enhance or get better our daily life. Do you see us growing anyway?
No, I think you're all boring and repetitive. And I might as well just talk to my dog. because my dog can ask the questions. Of course you're growing. You know, there's nothing more important than what's transpiring in your daily life. I can answer bigger questions. But how does that serve you? All those profound questions, they're not important. What's important is what you're having happen in this moment. How you're letting go of your traumas, how you stop suffering. Because really life should be a joy. You should be enjoying every moment, and your best friend should be you. And that should be fun to be you. And that's the whole essence of life. The illusion is magnificent. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful. And it's to be enjoyed. But if you're living here in suffering, how can you enjoy? So what's more important than that? And yes, I repeat and 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 repeat. And I have 100 ways to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Why? Because I had to repeat too. There wasn't a fairy that came with a wand and went, boom. Now you're enlightened, Isha. It was a process. And the process never stops. It can always be more refined, more perfect, more divine. It's a process. And then you get to a point where there's no suffering. And then you get to a point where you can just laugh at yourself. You know, and think, I'm a bit of a dick. That's okay. Oh well, yo soy así. Stop defending. Stop worrying. Just enjoy your life. It's good. So yes, I'll repeat into eternity. Because this is the only thing important. Being the love. Being that expression of love.
And I saying, a few days ago you were talking about the ego, and in a moment I heard coming from you, spiritual ego. Is that the same?
It's all the same. And the worst is the spiritual ego, no? That when people know so much, that their cups are so full, that you can't put anything else in it. Oh, yeah, I know that. Oh, yes, I read that. Oh, yeah, I practiced that. Oh, yes. I'm like Jesus, People get like that. And it's all intellectual. I remember, Hermania, no? Satya. You know her, yes? When she came to me, she knew everything. She read every spiritual book that ever existed. She'd done every single course. You can't even imagine. And her ego was so big, it took a truck to break through it. And you can't imagine, no? Because, she's this sweet little old lady, know-it-all. And, she let go of it all. She let it all go. And she's highly intellectual. And she never, ever had an emotion. So you imagine, I've got this little old lady that's so stubborn, so princess, that had spent 30 years doing courses. Imagine trying to wake her up. And at one moment, she got so exhausted, she just let go of everything. She just let go of it all. Because she was intelligent enough to see that what she had wasn't enough. So she got everything she had, And she just tipped it out. Just like that. She did things that she couldn't imagine. She did everything. And she woke up because she let go of everything. So spiritual egos are highly overrated. But they're also one of the hardest things to break. Because the greatest thing is innocence. The quickest way to wake up, to live in peace and love, is the simplest way. And it comes from a place of innocence. It doesn't come from all this knowledge. So whatever you think you know, including all the ishisms, just tip them out. Just keep tipping them out. And coming back to the moment. I focus on praise. I focus on love. I focus on gratitude. I keep going in. I kept letting go. Because wherever you're identifying with your mind, or what you know, or how important you are, you're out of the moment. Because consciousness is a child. That's it. Here now, in the moment, enjoying each moment, seeing, evolving, letting go of the suffering, seeing, evolving. It's very simple. So yes, spiritual ego is the worst. It's the worst.
Marcela is asking. The block emotions also are blocking the energy and the chakras.
Yes.
Yes? To express those emotions helps for the energy to flow.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. That flows also cleans the window of perception.
Yes. Perfect. You've understood it perfectly. Great.
Graciela is mentioning. Before, when I used to go to a retreat, I will come back home, but I didn't know how to apply the system. Now this situation is allowing me to understand clearly how to do it in my daily life, thanks to you and the corona that we are living in this situation.
So now you know why we created the coronavirus. So you could be at home, be guided in the system, and know how to implement it in your life. Fabulous. See how everything serves? And isn't it true, no? You're there. You're there. So you're implementing it in your lives. And it's so simple. And I know you're doing an intensive, which is wonderful. But you also have a normal life. And you have access to everything inside the house. Yeah.
Isa, wonderful, so many programs online, so many committed programs online. I just finished Above the Clouds. Now I'm doing Consciousness in Action this week with you. Here, this is wonderful. And I feel the deep trust that everything is happening to serve us when we are really focusing consciousness. I'm hallucinating, or do you think is like this?
Of course, everything that transpires in our lives is pushing us to more love, more evolution, more growth on every level. You know, and it's great you're doing these programs. And you have choices, no? You could be watching Netflix, or you could be doing the program. So what serves more? Because really you do have time. And this is what we have to start to see. What am I choosing in each moment? Am I exercising? Am I moving my emotions? Am I evolving? Or am I doing the same things I always do? And it's such a wonderful adventure consciousness because you're discovering new things all the time. When we keep repeating the same stuff, it starts to become mundane. We consume so much, we can't even remember what we watched or didn't watch, what we consumed, what we didn't consume. We can't even remember what we were doing. But when we have profound realizations about self, it's a revelation, no? It's amazing. This is unknown territory. To know self. And it's such a fabulous thing. Really. And consciousness is highly addictive. Because it's love. Love of self. Evolution. All of these things are so exciting and surprising and revealing. It's incredible. And the more silence you experience, the more gratitude you have towards yourself, everything externally starts to change. Everything. And everyone will see now, even if they didn't do the Isha system, that when they can actually go out, they're going to appreciate much more what they have. And they won't take it so much for granted. And we'll start to realize, wow, we are fragile. And that's what's important, that we start to appreciate what we have. Because sometimes we're so abundant, and we can't even see our own abundance.
Lou, I feel that if we don't interfere with our ideas, opinions, repressions with our children, they will know exactly what they need to do. Their natural consciousness, and for example, they are naturally conscious, and in this moment, extreme moment, they continue playing and laughing, and they are teaching us to celebrate everything just because. Will be not interfering but educating also. Can be not put limits at all, or we have to educate in a balance.
There has to be a balance, no? But we have to teach children to sustain that experience of present moment awareness and joy, because that's their nature. And then to explore different aspects of themselves. We shouldn't impose our ideas. We can guide them to find their own truths. But the most important thing is that if they're focused on love, they give love. The problem with adults is because we have so much fear, we teach them fear and we inhibit them. Don't do that, something might happen. Don't go there, something might happen. And that's the problem. Obviously, there's some limits, but they should come from love. Love of everything. Love of everyone. And children that love themselves are not destructive. They're giving. Because children are naturally giving. We teach them fear. We teach them to take. We teach them not to feel their emotions. So they go and project them onto each other. If they were taught from the beginning to move them responsibly, if they weren't taught all these judgments and prejudices and social standings, they'd be in unity. Everything's perfect. We put the fear in. The world's full of crystal clear water. The well. But we're the ones that put all the additives. Just in case. Just in case. Just in case. Thank you.